Joe Zekas from YoChicago.com. I'm at Nookie's 2 on Halsted. I'm with David Nadler on my left, and Bill, who's a trader. You've recently gone through the experience of renting. Start talking to me about that.
My wife and I and our 4-year-old daughter were living at Lakeshore Drive in Irving Park. We just grew out of our current place, and we needed a place. I was trolling around on Craigslist, and I didn't find anything I liked, but I got a pretty good idea of the pricing structure that was out there. I ran into David Nadler through an ad. I seemed to like the unit, and David told me right out it wasn't for me. Don't waste your time, it's too small. I don't want to waste your time. So I said I had to meet this guy. You know, he wasn't trying to con me. So I called him up, and then I realized that another friend of mine, who is a risk analyst and a very good friend of mine, had used him also. So I contacted David personally. We sat down 2 or 3 blocks north of where we are today at a Starbucks. He flipped out his laptop, interviewed me and my wife and my 4-year-old daughter, and kind of started the ball rolling. Now, I was specifically looking to rent from a condo owner. My take on the market was that it was flush with people that were stuck in properties, and people that builders who wanted just to rent out nice units. So I told David that, and not one time did he give me one piece of managed property, just apartment grade stuff. He showed us just great units, and a lot of them. We went through quite a bit of properties because
quite a bit, meaning how many approx? David,
how many did we go through?
We did several tours of homes. One tour. The first tour was excellent. I mean, it was it's something that you kind of read about. It was David showed up to our place and picked up my wife, my daughter Ava, and myself. He has this beautiful Mercedes truck, immaculate, and literally had DVD player in the seats for my daughter. And we just spent the entire day, and I don't even remember how many we went through. It was 16 or 27, or it was an incredible amount of units we went through, and never waited. Everything was, the timing was something you'd see in, an event manager. Everything just hit, and it was Saturday, so it's quite busy in the near north side, and we didn't ever wait, ever. So we saw everything the first time. Everything was nice, but quite frankly, the unit owners were out of their mind. They really just wanted way too much money for what they're getting, and so that started the ball rolling. So that's how we started, and then after that, we started getting a little bit more serious. I would say we started making offers, and to prove how stuck people are in this market. We would make offers to people. One unit in particular in Bucktown, just north of where we're currently living. It was a 1980s-ish townhome complex. It was nice, but it needed some TLC. So I figured, because of the connections we have in the building business of our family, that I could just repaint it, put new carpets on, sand the floors, and because we had planned on staying there, 3, 4, 5 years, we don't want to buy. And the broker thought it was a great idea, the opposing broker, and he brought it to the owners. They sent us back a letter that felt like I was being disciplined by my 8th grade principal, and told us that we would do all this work and we would actually pay more. So to say the least, we said no. And another one was out-of-work banker, and he was nervous because he didn't like to lease to traders, even after I showed him my credit report.
You really can't blame him for that.
No. But we offered him the entire year's rent up front in a cashier's check.
Speaking as somebody who's had traders for tenants in the past.
And I said to him, here's the amount, the entire amount of the first year in a cashier's check, and he didn't want that either. So that told me that he was stuck, and he wanted me to pick up his error. I wasn't going to do that.
Are you seeing that, a lot of overpriced rentals in the market?
The divergence between the seasons, as you know, is so severe now. Between the summer season, when so many people are transferring and need to relocate their families, and the off season, where things can really stagnate. And since a lease is typically 12 months, no thanks. Since a lease is typically 12 months, these months can really add up and be significant in terms of rent. So it's very seasonal. Sometimes people have a number set in their mind because maybe they heard from a friend of theirs what something was worth, and then the off season comes and they're unable to get that, and these negotiations tend to stick. And I think somebody who's renting should know that what you want to do is always have somebody in there paying something versus sitting vacant. But not everybody has that thinking, because maybe they own the home for 5-7 years and they live there, and it's got an emotional significance to them.
You didn't do any brokerage shopping at all? You just
No, I did. I was driving my wife crazy because I was on Craigslist every night for half an hour for months.
How can you do that?
Well, it's like a market. It's like just pricing out a market like any other market. So just trying for me to understand, because it's not what I do. So I understood the home building business because my father and my brothers were in it, but I wasn't in that business. So I wanted to look at it from my point of view and try to understand it from a pricing point of view, and it was really good. It was that's where David came in. I mean, honestly, we found him. He had worked with my friend. My friend said he was great. I mean, this guy is tough. He's a risk analyst for one of the big banks, and he's he's an academic, and he raved about Dave. So we had one meeting, and that was it.
You're a trader. You know how to analyze various situations. You've spent a lot of time working with David. If somebody's considering hiring him, what should they be on the alert? How should they play David?
You know what? There's no playing him. It's just be honest. Because he's going to tell you. I mean, there was times that Dave was on my back. You're being too tough, Bill. You're being, this is unrealistic. And it was really kind of near where the time when we did sign our lease, because I was coming in and I was showing David that the market was overpriced. He was starting to see that, but then the market was starting to catch a bid, and David told me, he said, this market's catching a bid, Bill. We have to be careful. It's going to get away from us. And we really, we ended up with a very nice piece of property at a very good price, that I feel. And so with David, just kind of trust him and just tell him what he wants, because he's gonna find it for you. It's just such a fractured market, and there's so much stuff all over. Unless you know exactly what you want, we never thought we'd be living in Ukrainian Village, Wicker Park, ever. And I love that neighborhood now. My wife, my daughter, I don't think we came east of the highway most of the summer. The restaurants, the parks, the things to do, everything was in our neighborhood. We could walk to everything. So with David, just tell him what you want, and he's going to get it. He's going to get it. You're getting emails from the guy 4 times a day. You're getting phone calls from the guy twice a day. So I've never experienced that from brokers I've dealt with. I'm usually chasing them.